Yeah. Oh, they don't even hear a word I say when I rap. I'll burn a flag, wearing to make America great again. It's that David and Goliath, I'ma slay my own dragons. Dragging out my words like drag racing a jag. Put the Freemason, I'm relaying the facts. 808s add to a 4-4 clap, that's basic math. My past a winding road, but I can find my home. Like Dorothy in some slippers standing on her tippy toes. You pushing yellow bricks, we in a fellowship of souls. Where anyone could die like a Game of Thrones episode. Yo, you never know until it's too late. Me, I flip a coin with heads on either side of it like I'm Two-Face. Living up out of a suitcase, my closet seems scary at now. Too many skeletons in it, it's like a burial ground. Y'all need a Ouija board whenever we record. Y'all get the heebie-jeebies, say that boy's a heathen and he needs the Lord. But I know God up on a first name basis. Still don't got no entourage to show me Vinny Chase love. It's still me, Major, connected to the universe. For the afterlife, I'm only here collecting souvenirs. So who's the weirdest boy you see? Me, you probably right. Pretentious, what I say, yo mama not gon' like. Namaste, wearing moccasins. Assalamu alaikum, reading Alan Watts, singing like Shaka Khan with my chakra bright. A starving artist giving food for thought to feed your appetite. It's yin and yang, so what I'm saying is only half is right. Like, I've been told a lot of things before. I'm not sure if I can make my mind up. I've been beaten, bruised and sore. I'm still trying to hold my light up. Hold my light, 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 God, I've been told a lot of things before. I'm not sure if I can make my mind up. I've been beaten, bruised and sore. I'm still trying to hold my light up. Hold my light, 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 God.
What's going on? What's going on? Welcome back to another live stream here. If you are new, my name is Zach and this is Real Deal Futures. Welcome to the show. Make sure you read the disclaimer that is on the screen right now. I'm just an idiot on YouTube, not a financial advisor. Nothing I say or do here or anywhere else is financial advice or a suggestion or recommendation of any kind. Trading's risky. Most traders lose money. You're probably going to lose money if you trade. You're responsible for your own trading decisions. You know the whole deal. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 and also read the affiliate partnership disclaimer. I'm partnered with Edgeful and Bookmap, two companies that I believe in and use myself, but I cannot be unbiased if I stand to make money. I am just watching Bookmap over here in the corner. Yeah, not a whole lot of anything though. All right, let's take a look and see what we got. We have a 150K combine loaded up here. I'll talk a little bit about my morning scalping NQ, getting really aggressive in combines. Got a couple of them that are dead and a couple of them that are real close to passing. So gonna be loaded up with some 150Ks. Like I talked about, I have my 50K XFAs still locked and loaded, all 5, and I actually have backup, passed and ready to go. But before I get real aggressive in those bad boys, I'm going to load up some 150Ks. My risk management principles just won't let me over leverage in these 50Ks. And I sure would like to. So I'm just watching to see Dow real quick here on Bookmap to see if we had anything above price. Not really, as we're starting to come back up to the high of the session. I'll talk about what I was looking at this morning coming into NYSE Open on Dow. Although I did not take Dow trades today. We got NQ Bookmap, which is just crazy as well. But if you're on here, welcome. What's going on? Glad you're here. Appreciate you hopping on. And if you got questions, feel free. You can ask in Discord. I'll pick some decent ones out of YouTube, so long as it's not the trolling BS. So, as Dow is coming up to retest the highs of session. Pre-market, we had some selling pressure, right? Definitely had some selling pressure here on Dow at 6:30 a.m. We came down. We had some news right here at, we had some news. Yeah, pretty quiet on Dow, actually. A whole lot of nothing on the red folder news. Sorry, back and forth between NQ. A whole lot of nothing on Dow. My analysis was I was looking for a push back up to VWAP at the open. You could hop in the free Discord. You could hear that analysis posted before the market opened. If we sold off, I was looking down around this discretionary level coming off of Friday's low. Very simple structure, support and resistance, supply and demand, order block, whatever you want to call it. And I mentioned if we were pushing the highs of pre-market, which is this zone right here, I'd be looking for potentially shorts up in this 700-ish area, 42,700, which would be a little bit above yesterday's high. Also coming off of the 28th, which was Friday. Yep, Friday highs. But Dow's looking pretty strong. Cracked up at the open. Only thing I have setting up right now is a really aggressive short off of this area right here, which I'll probably try out if we come on up here. Would give me a decent way to structure risk. Again, I was talking about this in Discord as well. I look for the extremes on Dow. Like to trade from the extremes back to the middle of the zone, back to VWAP, back to the tops or bottoms of levels of structure, especially around the open. If we're moving like we're moving right now, I don't mind to try it here coming into middle of the day, 11:40 a.m. Eastern. This would be really aggressive, really, really simple trade. Yeah, again, nothing really helped me out on Dow's book map. But I would look to jump into this one, maybe even scale in, man. That'd be an interesting play. Let me just zoom out a little bit, see what's past this level. Yeah, we crack this zone and come all the way up. I think we're headed much higher. This is a really aggressive short on a pretty bullish day. Pretty high risk. If I was going to take it, I don't think I'm going to wait for a lot of confirmation. Just another 30 or 40 points out of Dow into this area, right around these highs. I'm going to look for a cheap short back down into this range. That's my game plan as of right now here on Dow. Talk to you guys a little bit about NQ in a moment as well. Pretty simple, aggressive approach to scalping NQ. Market structure and price action. I'm trying to identify areas of consolidation, small ranges, trade with the trend, and utilize bookmap. There's a lot of levels that come on and off the book very quickly on NQ. It's pretty easy to spot and use them to your advantage. It's high risk, right? I mean, combines and Dow NQ moves very, very quickly. If you're very zoomed in on the 1 minute, you get caught in the noise, and you better be running a pretty clean invalidation area and take your stops on the way to your wins. So it's been playing pretty nicely. I'm going to see how consistent it is because I'm going to keep testing it. The way I've been doing it is really high risk, in combines that I'm looking to press to pass or fail, right? Not spending a lot of time in combines, not quite YOLOing in them all in one trade, right? Full port, 15 lots, and, go for the 4,500 and the 150Ks. Not quite at that level. I'd like to be able to build a buffer, start a little bit small, although not really small. Put a couple $100 or a couple $1,000 in the account and then get really aggressive and, trade your way to max profit. And that was done this morning. Yeah, not a whole lot on Dow as far as areas of liquidity above. Would love to have something showing up here above these highs or at these highs. As far as order flow goes, looking at level 2 data here, this is Bookmap. This is my favorite order flow tool. I am partnered with Bookmap. Got a discount. If you're interested, hop in the free Discord. It's also in the description of this video. But this gives you live liquidity. What I'm looking at here is just a bunch of algorithmic BS, not actually stuff that's helping me out here on YM. If I have something to show you, yeah, this is looking like it right here. That looked like it was legit for a moment. No, not a whole lot to show on Dow here. Bunch of algorithmic stuff. Not really helped me out. But I've given you guys demonstrations of that before, and if something comes on the book here or we swap over to NQ, we start taking a look at that, I will show you guys what I'm looking at. Yeah, so let's take a look at the monster in the room, NQ. Yeah, kind of interesting price action out of NQ as well. Again, these two living in their own world, right? Here is our 930 open. Big push down, clean support found right around this high over here. I believe this is also like a prior week or prior day level, but discretionary, right? If I'm going to pay attention to something, I like to keep it simple. Back up towards VWAP, back up above VWAP rather, on the 5-minute here on NQ. Big sell-off, pull back up towards VWAP, sellers step back in, buyers take it right back up to VWAP, and now it looks like we're going to try this higher. If I take a look at NQ on the DOM, we've got some orders below price, but not too much screaming at me here at this point. Show you guys what I'm looking at on NQ here. Right now, this, again, algorithmic stuff, that looks legit right there, although it is coming on and off the book. Here's the stuff that I look for, right? Big levels of liquidity that pop up on the book. Big level of liquidity right here. If I scrolled back, you'd be able to see, look at how prominent that is on the ladder, on the depth of market, the current order book, whatever you're supposed to call the DOM. But levels like this, right? Not all of this algorithmic BS. I don't know that it's BS. I think it's real liquidity, but it just doesn't seem to be helpful in any way that I can interpret. But big levels of liquidity, like this bad boy right here, right? You're trading, you say, oh, look, we're starting to come down. Really clean target. If you didn't already pay attention to that level, you might want to pay attention to it. But things like that. Does it always work? Does it always come in to fill these orders? No. You can see right here, here's an example of that. You know, a lot of orders on the book right here. NQ just didn't come into it. Got close a couple times, but moved away from it before coming back down. So helpful enough, especially around the open. Let's go way back. Yeah, here's some big levels. That's a really clear one right there, right? You could see big level of liquidity that came on the book, and then price came down into it, volume filled. But right here, right now, not seeing a whole lot. Nothing super jumping off of this chart on me to take a look at. But yeah, really super aggressive on the combine, scalping on NQ. It's great when it works. It's not so great when it doesn't, especially if you're really high risk with it. But again, essentially trading with price action, with market structure, right? The trend, the direction, trying to get that right. And I'd look to be buying into pullbacks and selling into pullbacks to the upside. You know, that's kind of the deal with NQ. It's pretty wicky, pretty back and forth. You get a lot of movement out of each candle, and if you're on the 1-minute chart, you know, targeting 50 ticks, 60 ticks, stuff like that, it's pretty doable. Again, it gets noisy when it doesn't work and you're on the wrong side a few times in a row. It can get pretty painful, especially if you are running a pretty decent size. But I will keep you guys updated on that as I go further in. I constantly have to come back to NQ to get punished. I don't know why, but I think I fall into the same boat as a lot of guys with that one. But Dow is bread and butter right now, especially right off the open. It's been really, really beautiful. Again, hop in Discord. You can, you know, gauge that analysis for yourself. See what I'm talking about. See what I'm looking at. We also had a gap fill level on Dow today. Let's take a look at that. Here was... Oh, man, did I not include it? That's frustrating. Hang on one second. I did, but I didn't include the screenshot. I've been sending you guys analysis on Dow every morning, and I wanted to include this this screenshot of the gap down that was filled about 61 points above near the open. Let me just jump back here and see if I could find what that price level was. I'll just throw the chart in regular trading hours. I can see what it was. This was the gap fill level right here. Where is 6 o'clock? There we go. Boom. That was Edgeful's gap fill, we were below that, right? This is prior day's closing price. This is extended trading hours, the normal chart that most guys look at. On the 5-minute, you can see before the open, we are below that price. More often than not, let's just look at the actual stats so I don't have to guess what it is. That gap is getting filled. We were in a gap down situation, right? This is what a gap down looks like, just like I marked off there, Yes, we were in a gap down situation where we opened up below prior day's closing price. And we know that 69% of the time over the last 6 months of data on YM, those gaps are getting filled during NYSE session. Does it happen right away? No, we have all of NYSE session for that to happen. But it can give you some direction, some bias, something to pay attention to. This is a level that I wasn't aware of, something I didn't pay attention to at all. And it's been pretty interesting to pay attention to. 70% stats over 6 months. Pretty strong. Does it happen every time? No. Take a look at all these days where it doesn't happen. And will it be consistent? No. There's a random distribution between, when that gap's going to get filled and when it's not going to get filled. You might take a look at this in the next 3 days or 4 days, that gap's not filled. What's in place section on Edgeful is really cool for that. It gives you the running streak as far as each individual gap down. And this morning, it shows the price level that we're in a gap down situation, tells you bullish and what the price target would be. In this case, right around this level. So that is Edgeful. Again, partner with Edgeful. If you want to check those guys out, you can check that stuff out for free. 7-day free trial. You can check out all the stats, all the data for your specific instrument. I find it helpful. Find it really helpful. I'll actually show you guys one more thing on Edgeful that I was talking about this morning. Let's say you trade NQ. They have a pretty cool feature. A dashboard, right? So you come over to NQ, you open up this dashboard, and it gives you just a high level overview of how your asset, your instrument's been moving day over day, by week, streaks for red and green days, opening stats. Just can be a nice thing to kind of refresh yourself with in the morning. And then if you say, well, I kind of want to look at red and green days by weekday. I see that here on Wednesday on NQ, we are not as strong to the green side. Maybe I want to jump right down to that report, get a lot more detailed. Maybe I want to look at a different session, different amount of data, customize the report itself, or get some deeper explanations on what this report actually is. You could do all that. I think Edgeful is super helpful. I think it's a really, really cool platform to just have over on the side. Again, I don't use it really like an individual indicator that I'm paying attention to every minute of the session. But in the morning, refreshing myself when I'm going to back test, when I'm kind of reviewing my trades and the way that I'm trading, am I trading with or against some of these statistics? And is that helping me or hurting me? Interesting. Or at least I find it interesting. But let's watch the markets here, man. Again, waiting to see if we crack up towards these highs, right? Let's jump out to the 15 minutes so you can see it. Pretty simple play that I'll be looking at here. I think there's a good chance that we find resistance around this area. I think if we come up here, we may see sellers step in and try to bring price back down lower. Maybe we sweep these highs. I would run a stop loss that's fairly wide here and target a move back down into the range. I don't know that we just break out and run the upside. Is that possible? Yes. Yes, it is. But Dow has been very choppy. It's been very back and forth. You can see yesterday's price action, right? Here's the open, push all the way up, all the way back down into the range, swept below that low this morning, all the way back up. Very back and forth. A lot of rotation out of Dow. So that's what I'm going to hang out for on this one. Again, I'm going to keep an eye on the monster in the room, NASDAQ, as well. See if there's something really clean setting up. Yeah, gun to my head on this one. I'm going long. I don't really love the way this is set up right here, right now. Sorry, just zooming out to get VWAP back in line. Yeah, we do have a level of liquidity at a very obvious level. 700s. But we are right at VWAP, although holding above VWAP. Yeah, this wouldn't be that bad. Here's the kind of scalp style trades that I take, that I've been testing on, right? Um, Scalping meaning really, really tight, right? This is 20 points. Whoa. 50 to 100 tick moves, stuff like that. I don't love this one just yet because I do think we can sweep down below these lows, pull the classic NQ wick kind of move before a possible continuation. But we do have a level up here at this nice round number. We're holding above VWAP. We've tested it a couple times. We're failing to get above it right here. So this would be buying before a breakout to the upside. But I don't know that I would have a really nice risk structure with this one. If that's my target right there, and I want to stick with a 1-to-1 at very least, that's about as wide as I could go right there. Do we take an NQ trade today? Do we start scalping on NQ? I'd wait for a little bit deeper of a pullback. Maybe like another sweep down below these lows. That would be pretty clean. That would be pretty clean. Nice pullback down to VWAP, kind of crack right down below these 1-minute lows. Down below these 5-minute lows, and then look for the break above. Now that we kind of cracked or at least tapped these highs and pulled back down. If you got caught buying up there, that'd be tough, but I'd be looking for something along those lines. If I was going to take that trade, much cleaner invalidation zone all the way down here. But this thing might go right here right now. We'll watch that one. Again, I'm on TopstepX, so this VWAP line, for whatever reason, always ends up all jacked up. Keeping an eye on Dow to see if that pushes up near this zone right here. Sorry, zooming out. There we go. Let's see. Yeah, NQ, I'll be looking long. Again, level of liquidity up here. Nice round number that was tested earlier in the session. We did find resistance right off of that, and it was a start of an impulsive move, but that's a pretty clear high that I'd be targeting if I was looking to get long. Just don't know if we have to pull a crazy sell-off type of move down here first. And if I get started on NQ, I really want to stay on it for a while and then start to let the odds play out in my favor. If you're going to take a high frequency, low time frame trade, you probably want them to play out, right? You want to have a series of trades, right? Not just one individual one and say, oh, yep, we got it right that time because we operate with a 100% win rate. No, that's not how it works. Dow, but we'll watch NASDAQ for this one for now. Oh, looks like it's going to try it. Let's see. Essentially, that's the trade setup. Long out of this area consolidation, retesting this high, multiple times. We pulled back down off of it. We came back up to test it. I'd be looking for a break above. I just don't know if we have to pull a move down first, so I'm not super comfortable jumping in. It's not a great target. If it was something up here, that would make for a much better upside potential. I'd really looking to be jumping out, really right below that 700 level. So it doesn't give me a super wide stop loss. It's not a bad setup, but it's not something that I'm going to put risk on the line on with you guys right now. And we'll see what plays out. What I would potentially jump into, we pull another move like this right here, some kind of wick down, some kind of move to the downside first, and then come all the way back up. I might try it. I think that would be buyers that are buying up here getting swept out, and then the continuation to come back up. So I would look for something like that. But again, if I start on this one, I kind of want to stay on it, and I've done quite a bit of trading on NQ this morning. Yeah, and that level's kind of fading up there at kind of coming on and off the book at 700 level. Let's see. Retest a VWAP. Kind of sweeping below these 1 minute lows, right? These 5 minute lows. Or do we just break down here? You know, do we, is the short play the move, and we pulled back up here, we're failing to move higher, we're finding resistance around VWAP, and sellers are indeed going to take this thing lower. You know, that's the case for the short. Yeah, now we got a level at 8.5. And 700 is kind of washing off. Yeah, I'm going to hold on this one. I still don't think it's bad. Again, I'd wait for some kind of move to the downside first. Maybe miss the move, but I'd be looking at this thing for a quick pop to the upside. I don't know that we crack this and we move higher. 700 is kind of lightening up. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about here. Looking at Bookmap, again, this is kind of this algorithmic liquidity that overlaps price and makes it difficult to read. But that, to me, looks like a real level of liquidity. This is what I was looking at on the book up here at the 700s. But if I scroll forward, you can see that it's really come off the book. Those orders have been pulled, whatever was up there, at least to a degree. Not by much, though. There wasn't a whole lot up there to begin with. To me, this looks pretty thick up here, although it is kind of getting overlapped with this algorithmic stuff, so hard to decipher. NQ's Bookmap moves very fast. It's a little bit more difficult to read, in my humble opinion. But here we go, coming up. Let's see. You can tell by volume as well, right? If we move into one of these levels, these orders actually stay on the book. If they fill, it's it's shown in the volume bubbles. It's shown down in traditional volume. You could also see it after the fact on a candlestick chart if you're using volume. But we'll chill out. We'll chill out and see what we get. Yeah, because this is right within all of this price action. You know, these levels that I'm looking at here. Sorry for making you guys dizzy. This is 680, and then like 685. So we're really right within this price action. Here's your 680. Here's your 85. Right at highs, right above highs. Not a terribly difficult place to assume, but that's not a beautiful risk structure. Unless you're going to go for a really, really tight trade. Stop loss somewhere maybe just down below these lows, like 60 tick stop loss or something like that, 15 points in NQ, and that gets a little dicey. If we had something up here really, really clean to target, I wouldn't mind this one. So I'm gonna hang on to this and just hold off. Am I missing Dow? No, not yet. Dow kind of consolidating up near this highs. Feels like it's running out of steam. Again, I was looking for potentially a cheap short. Back down towards VWAP, maybe just back down towards the middle of this range. Pretty aggressive, pretty counter trend on this day, right? If I'm looking short on a day like this. But, as I was explaining earlier, Dow's been very choppy, and it's very rotational. It moves very aggressively from extremes, seems to respect levels, my discretionary levels, where I happen to place zones at very obvious places based on structure and major key levels, objective levels. It respects those very well, sets up for really cheap trades. So I like Dow, especially off the open. Loves to come across VWAP. If it's below or above VWAP, it makes for a stupidly simple trade that I don't mind putting risk on the line for. Because I back test it and then I forward test it, and it's easy enough to grab. But yeah, kind of just slow moving now. You know, very big move out of Dow, choppy, a little bit of movement here as I was hopping on, and didn't quite get to the zone that I was looking to short from. I wouldn't mind trying it. I still wouldn't mind trying it from here. If we had like one more little crack up, we kind of saw, a measured move start to slow down, not extend as far as we have right here. I wouldn't mind looking for a short out of that zone. NQ, I'm looking on Bookmap, is still kind of just chopping around there. I think I'm going to stay on Dow so I don't miss this one. This is my closest clean setup. That's what I'm looking at. Again, I said potentially, long towards that 80-85 level on NQ. There was orders up at 700. That was the initial thesis. Those started to come off. Maybe it's a little bit of a reach, but I still think if I had a gun to my head, that's what I would do. Be long out of that area of consolidation. Try to get long low in that zone. Let's just jump back to it real quick. It might try it. Look at that. It might try it. Yeah. Yeah, long down around the lows. Not a bad play. Not a bad play. But we are up into those 80s. Eating up that liquidity. Looks like we're going to go and grab 85. Not quite just yet. Maybe we don't. Maybe we turn. And we got a little bit back on the book up at 700. So maybe NQ cracks these highs. But like I just said, I'm going to hang out on Dow with you guys for now. My good friend Dow. What do we got going on here? What's up, guys? Mike Z, what's up, man? Another day in practice. Almost bought a combine to trade, but I said no. Good, dude. Good. Hold yourself back if you feel that you should be on demo. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Laughter, what's up? What is an order block? ICT invented order blocks. He invented the algo, actually. He's the man who wrote the entire algo. No, I'm just joking around. I don't know anything about that. Order block, I don't know the real definition. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I've heard horizontal levels, areas of interest, be called so many different things. Support and resistance, supply and demand, order blocks, levels, zones, 30,000 other different things. And I think there's different definitions as to how they are found, like specifically maybe order blocks or supply and demand zones. So for me, I try not to even use support and resistance. I just call them areas of interest because that's super general, right? Like anything can be an area of interest. Could be an area of interest, right? Because I say, it's a number that I like. It's an area of interest. A level, any spot on the chart can be an area of interest. So these are discretionary zones. Discretionary meaning it's not market-generated information. Market-generated information, it's objective. It's not an opinion. Example of what that would be. Prior day's high and low is the exact same on my chart, as long as you're trading Dow, and you have information coming from the Chicago Board of Trade. It's an objective level. It's the same on everybody's chart. Discretionary would imply that it is a subjective level, meaning I don't have a very clear, objective way of defining how I place that zone, and it is left to some subjective interpretation and opinion. That's what I do with my zones here on Dow. I don't find getting super duper detailed and objective really helps me through back testing and forward testing. I think it just wastes time and places effort and focus in areas where it doesn't matter as much. I will say my subjective discretionary levels often coincide with major levels, right? With important objective levels. Prior day's high and low, maybe. Overnight's high and low. Why does that happen? Because they're coming off of highs and lows. It's pretty obvious, right? Here's like a 30-minute chart. There's a lot of zones on this chart. They're coming off of highs and lows, right? Pretty obvious where these are coming from. This got a little bit choppy because we sliced through it today. Pretty obvious where this zone is coming from, right? So that's my zones. But people call things interchangeably. For that specific piece, the way that we're marking, I don't know that it's super duper important that we focus in on that. Other things, like when we speak about liquidity, and specific things in the market, different market mechanics, I think it is important to be a little bit careful with our words and the way that we're describing things, because there is a right and a wrong and a black and a white to the way that we talk about things in the market from a technical standpoint, right? Like if I say price is at 42,725, you should say, no, Zach, it's not. That's not out for debate. It's not an opinion. It's at 42,612, right? We all know that. We have centralized information coming from, the CME or CBOT or whatever, if you're trading metals, it's different. But yeah, so there's specific things like liquidity. That's where I start to get into it with guys. Lost 4 combines in 2 weeks. Need to regroup. I got you, dude. If you're not trading them aggressively and you don't want to lose them, then that's not good. If you're trading them super aggressively, maybe losing 4 in 1 day is not a big deal. I've lost all year. My current combine is very profitable. Nice, dude. Very nice. Hopefully get funded. Good, dude. Keep doing what you're doing. 6 combines that reset every month. That's one way to do it. Nice. 4 from the promo. Yeah. Gotcha. Hope they do a new promo soon on bigger accounts. I feel like you need the 150K. Yeah. Can't afford them outright. I got you. Agree. What's up, Tony? What's going on, man? Tony Hawkeye. Yeah, so like the rumor mill is that when the Discord for TopStep gets to a certain amount of members, and when the YouTube gets to a certain amount of subscribers, like 100,000 and 150,000, MP, the owner, hinted that they will do something special. So I don't know what that means. That could be a fire drill. That could be a quiz. It could be a giveaway. It might not be some actual outright discount the way they were doing in the past. They pretty much did away with all of that. They were giving resets and accounts out like candy, and they reeled it in. It was fun while it lasted, but I think they got really pissed off about the chat and Discord just constantly begging. So they said, you know what? No more. So yeah, hopefully they have some discounts. That'd be pretty cool. Could load up on combines for a low price or resets or whatever you want to do. Yeah, no, that long didn't play. Look at that. So long didn't play. Again, just not enough confidence out of this one. That would have definitely been a stop out if I was getting long down here. If I was getting long targeting something up here, even the 85s or the 700s, I wouldn't have been running a stop loss like that. It would have been something tight. So no trade in NASDAQ is good. This is pretty choppy around VWAP. I get more cautious on NASDAQ right here, right around, volume weighted average price. I'd like to see some movement out of the thing first, unless you're just going to go for like these really, really tight barcode style range trades, which I was discussing on TopStep TV with Dobie yesterday. Yeah, might not get it out of Dow, man. We just might get close. Again, I was looking for Dow to pull up a little bit farther to look for a short. We are starting to roll over here, but this is what I was looking for. That might be it. That might be as far as we want to go. And we're not going to come up into the zone. We're not going to get close to this 700 level that I like to see, and even maybe a sweep above. So this is getting less likely for a setup here. Might end up just hanging. But that's all you could do, man. Wait for your setups, wait for your trades. Scoping out two instruments here. Looking short on one, long on the other, so I'm being real flexible. But that wouldn't have played anyway, and now we're starting to sell back off here on NASDAQ. So I'll leave Dow open. We'll hang out for a little bit. See if anything does set. VWAP back in line. 5-minute chart. Dow, right? We're on the right chart. Cool. Cool, cool. Mike Z says, yeah, chat was annoying. Yeah, man. Listen, dude, I like streaming on YouTube, and I appreciate all you guys being here. For whatever reason, YouTube live chats are like the depths of hell, dude. They're really bad. Like, there are just outright trolls that make it their, life's duty to bother everybody and say, terrible, mean things. Not to give the person any airtime, but I had one person, the same dude, with multiple accounts coming back again and again and again and again to constantly troll me. It was not super fun. It's distracting and not great. So anyway, chat got super duper annoying. It was filled with free discount, the whole thing. Love range trading. If you are good at it, can be fun. Used to practice to range trade though. Yeah, man. Yeah, again, like when I talk about range trading, let me see. Yeah, took a YM trade practice yesterday. Cool. Yeah, NQ's fast. If Mike, if you want to trade something fast. When I talk about ranges, and I was kind of talking about this with Dobie yesterday on TopStep TV. I don't really like to try to identify a huge range. I'd be on the 1 minute, and I start to identify an area of consolidation. It was actually the type of trade that I took yesterday live. Ended up being a $181 loss on TopStep TV. Like, let's say, here, again, out of this range, right, this area of consolidation, this 1 minute range, I'm anticipating the move to continue to the upside. So even with a range, I'm not just arbitrarily selling the top, buying the bottom. I'm having some direction with it. And the way that Dobie takes these trades, and he talks about, is he'll try to scale in at the lows or even like on a sweep down below the low with a stop loss down here, scale out at the top, and then hold on to a runner for a break above the range. That's what he was describing as the real value in trading ranges. I like them for the really high probability of just coming back up near the top of the range. So, if you get a nice entry down low in the range, so long as that range doesn't break the way this one did to the downside, you stay in and you grab some profit down up near the top of the range if you're in buys for it, for example. I try to do that with the trend in the way that I'm testing, right? Because it's not my bread and butter. But you get a lot of opportunity doing that. NASDAQ, I also just leverage, on the 1 minute chart, I leverage how back and forth these candles move. You could leverage price action that, if a candle opens up with no wick, if you pay attention to that, it's pretty likely that it comes back up to fill that wick. If you are trading pre-market, like I was up real early this morning because I really couldn't sleep, number one. But second, in back testing on NQ, I noticed it gaps. It gaps quite a bit in pre-market. Not like an insane amount and not big gaps, but these small gaps in between 1 minute price, at least here on TopstepX. I don't know if this is actually going to be different across platforms. It shouldn't be. It should be consistent. But you get stuff like this, and price really likes to come back across them and fill. Not always. You get yourself into trouble just chasing it, but they love to fill these little gaps. It also pre-market's not as great with the no wick to the upside on a candle. During session trading hours, it really likes to come back and fill those wicks. If you go through back testing, or you take a look at a chart, and you're watching a chart, this is something maybe you just want to pay attention to for price action on whatever pair that you're trading. Maybe it's relevant for your pair, maybe it's not. There's not a lot of candles that have no wick to one side. Right? There's not a lot. Like, let's find one here so you can see what I'm talking about. Nope. Wick on both sides. Wick on both sides. There we go. That has no wick to the upside, right? When a candle opens up on NQ, maybe not now, but earlier in the session, oftentimes selling pressure immediately takes it lower, or immediately starts to take it higher. And it moves maybe 10, 20, 30 ticks in one direction without putting that wick in. And oftentimes it comes back down to fill that wick, to put that bottom or top wick in. Interesting pattern that you can pay attention to. I'm not the creator of this. This is not something that's mind-blowing. It's obvious, right? Something to pay attention to if you're scalping price action, really aggressively. Even if you're not going to use that by itself, which I don't think you should. I don't think that would be all-encompassing enough. If you're trading ranges, if you're trading with a trend, if you're using VWAP, and you're also zoomed in on price action, the 5 minute to 1 minute, you can pay attention to the way those candles print. And that can give you, a little bit of a lead in on, how that candle may finish printing if you are going to enter before the closure of candles. Dow all the way back down. Okay, so here's an example, right? We opened up, no wick to the upside. The thought process here is that we're going to come back and put that wick in. Let's see what happens on this 5 minute candle. It didn't move very far down, but here we go, putting the top wick in right now. So the thought process is maybe you're looking for longs, right, near the bottom of a zone. A candle opens up to the downside, just like that. And you wait for it to pull down to whatever reasonable amount or level you're looking at, and you enter with a little more confidence, waiting for that candle to flip to the upside. Again, not rocket science, not the creator of it, just price action, basic price action stuff. Not something that I would use alone. And you might say, Zach, that's ridiculous to pay attention to on the 1 minute chart, and it's a huge waste of time, and that's fair. You can say that's not statistically significant. Don't know what the numbers are behind that. Maybe Edgeful will have a stat for that for me, but I got them working on another interesting report, custom report. So do that first. You ever trade with FTMO? I did trade with FTMO. I was never funded with FTMO. But it was right before they said no more U.S. clients. That was right around the My Forex Funds disaster, and then eventually HFT firms, Cortana, and then I said I had enough with getting burned by Forex prop firms. Writing was on the wall when U.S. traders, myself included, were trading CFDs with Forex prop firms. I didn't really understand how that was happening legally. And all of the MetaTrader licenses started to get pulled, and they got investigated by the CFTC and all of that nightmare situation. So, yeah, I had lost enough money with Forex prop firms to want to continue down that road. But FTMO was, and maybe still is, like the premier Forex prop firm. But I wouldn't touch them with a 10-foot pole, although I think there's probably plenty of legit ones out there, similar to the way that I'm skeptical in futures with, whatever prop firm I'm going to use. Because I think there's some sketchy stuff going on in the futures market with prop firms, right? A lot of stuff popping up, different things, and you just got to be cautious. But I put my hand on that stove like 30 times. I got 20-degree burns, not even third-degree burns, before I decided, okay, that's enough. But I've talked about that enough. If you're on here often, you probably are bored of me here talking about that. Finding M&Q, I really have to buy the red candle to go long. It seems to retrace itself way more than just take out successive candles, unless it's like a monster move. Yeah, Def Hard mentality, go long or short on the opposing candle. And then Rusty asked, do you feel like YM is in between ES and NQ as far as the way that it moves? He was asking you that, Mike, so I won't answer that question. Here's an example of what we were talking about there, right? We have a no wick candle to the downside, right? And we also have a little bit of a gap here from the close and the open. The thought process would be, there you go, came and put that wick back in. If it opens up really aggressively to the downside, you'd look long. You could have grabbed, up to, if somehow you bottom ticked it, which is completely unreasonable, 30 points. But maybe you grabbed it somewhere down here as it started to retract off the bottom of the candle, but just to demonstrate what I'm talking about with those candles. There you go. No wick to the bottom. This would be a short signal. There you go. Again, on the 1 minute, like how quick do you have to be to do that? Pretty damn quick. But yeah, to your point, Mike. On NQ, man, it's tough. Buying breakouts on NQ is tough, and selling breakouts is tough. These candles move back and forth, back and forth, back and forth across each other all day long, and it's quite a bit of movement, tick wise and point wise and value wise. So. Yeah, man. Not all the way up. I don't think I'm going to get one, guys, unfortunately. Unless I just start scalping away on NQ, which I think I'm going to hold off on doing. This is what I was looking for. Continuation right up towards these highs. Simple area of interest on my chart to look short around prior day session highs and highs back here from the 28th. For a move back down, maybe towards VWAP, maybe to be able to start scaling out down here around the next level of structure. We didn't get that. We were pushing up at the time I was hopping on here, right around 11:30, 11:40, and we've since turned, started to roll over here. I don't have a trade within this, don't have direction. This could easily just be nice clean structure to the upside. We're going to break and retest, and we're going to pull this nice measured move. I don't really see that happening. I think we come back down and just kind of chop around up here. I don't know that we're in for a huge sell-off, but I don't know. I don't know that I would look long on this. And with NQ, we are kind of just trickling back down. It's looking pretty choppy. Sell-off at the open, push right back up to VWAP, and now we've kind of just been chopping around in this kind of larger back and forth range. So again, on the 1 minute, I think I'll have to load up a combine and start one intentionally and say we're going to do some NQ scalping. Again, combining Bookmap with kind of that basic description of using price action and market structure to scalp on NQ is kind of the key for me, at least, to get some consistency. Although I haven't really been able to put enough data behind that yet. But we don't have too much on Bookmap right now. It's kind of just this tight algorithmic liquidity above and below price. So I'm gonna hold off, guys. That's gonna be my session. We're gonna keep it short and sweet, just under an hour. No trade. Didn't get the setup on YM. Again, broke down what I was looking at the open, which played out. First thing I was talking about was a move back to VWAP. That was decent. Do I get it every day? Do I have great analysis every morning? No, absolutely not. Just enough to be dangerous, in my humble opinion. If you like the stream, feel free. Quick housekeeping, guys. I'll be on Top Step TV tomorrow for Fast Markets in the morning. Super psyched about that. Halloween. It'll be a fun session. Thursday, we got Red Folder News. We got NFP on Friday, coming into election. Feel free, hop on Top Step TV. I'm on there for like 2.5 hours in the morning, 9:30 a.m., trading the main session, and I'll be having fun because it's Halloween. So I would love to see you guys there in the chat. You can discredit some of the trolls that hop on there and, say whatever they want to say. Or just enjoy and don't engage with terrible people. Along with that, I'll be back live here at 11:30 on Friday and then live all next week. Last piece, if you're interested in working with me one-on-one, I work with clients, I work with traders one-on-one. It's my only paid program right now. I'm getting busier and busier. Grateful for that to be happening with all the exposure, Top Step, and getting on Austin Silver's The Day Trading Show, all these different places. It's been awesome to get to interact with more people. The community is growing. I'm probably going to have to change some stuff up. I'm running into time constraints with the amount that I can do. So I'm probably going to start to change some things up when it comes to working with guys. I don't know exactly what that's going to look like, but if you're interested in working with me, now's your shot. Last kind of heads up, I'll be posting it a handful of times, so not the last one. But through the end of the year, I'm happy to take on new guys to work with one-on-one. 5 weeks trading with me every single morning, not copying me, not a signals group, no pre-made videos for right now. Working on building you into the trader that you know you can become. psychology and mindset focused, trading plan and risk management focused, putting in the discipline and the work to create a real business here, right? Not just YOLOing accounts. If you're interested in that, be happy to talk to you. 30-minute free call. Absolutely no pressure. If not, hop in the free community. You could be asking me questions in there for free, getting my analysis every morning, seeing the exact way that I trade here live. Talk to you guys soon. Thank you for hopping on here. Again, like, subscribe. We got a bunch of people on here. Thank you for being here. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Happy early Halloween. I'll see you live on Top Step TV for Fast Markets. Talk to you guys later. Thank you.